Hello and welcome to the A&P. I am Alex Johansson and my co-host Patrick McCallum. Patrick,
Hello, everyone. How are you getting on?
we're having logical discussions about the state of the world. Let's get into it, brother. Heyo, Patrick.
How are you getting on, buddy? So, we've the Unbroken man with us again today. Well, not
We
with
do.
us,
Well,
but
he's
we're reviewing his video.
Of course. He's
Yes.
one of our favorite Irish fellas. He's talking about the Galway activists and
Yes.
how they're angry and those who are functionally viewing things from his perspective and what that looks like. So,
yeah.
Here we go.
The sense of sort of lowness that we've gotten to here in Ireland in regards to the culture war, the left versus right sort of debate, which was very evident there in the march. So the march started down below around the Father Griffin area there of town, Father Griffin Road, near the Claddagh. There was some speeches and stuff made in the playground area there, which were good. Some of the guys talking, didn't recognise them. They made a lot of sense. Then the march went up by Dominic Street, Maingard Street, up through Shop Street. And then it was around by Ayr Square then when things got a little bit more spicy and we saw a little bit more action. Okay.
So that's the Galway protest that happened last Saturday.
Yes.
So,
and we actually have a bit of footage there that we're going to cut into right now.
Right. All right. Let us do that. All right. So we now have the Galway protests up. We'll take a bit of a look at it here and see what's going on.
Yeah, this is all around the Ayr Square area.
Okay.
Do something to me as well. Go on, do something to me as well. No, I don't. Go on, do something to me. Do something to me.
He's right. That's getting a little bit spicy. There's some people getting real aggressive out there. Woo.
Yeah, it's getting very, very spicy indeed. This young man's either, well, I don't know what he's playing at. Come right up to their faces like that. On both sides there. Well, especially this young man. Very, very silly.
They're not willing to have a discussion. They want to be righteous and right on both sides, as opposed to being like, here's my position. Let's have a meeting of ideals and ideas. The meritocracy of an ideology.
That doesn't really happen. That doesn't really happen in this type of scenario.
No.
Let's be honest. It doesn't really happen. Not when there's both protests or meet up together like this.
Yeah, they need a speaker's corner in Galway, I think, where people get to be heard.
In an ideal world there would be such things as a speaker's corner, but yeah, that's not going to happen in this particular scenario.
Nope. All right, let's get back to the spice.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. You're the one that's on about that. You're voice to hear.
For fucking people that have been massacred every day of the week.
We don't care about Palestine. Hear it.
What's the point of being aggressive like that? Like, that doesn't do anything. It just pisses people off.
Yeah, on both sides of the aisle, there's a... Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, it's...
When Ireland has as many issues as they have right now with immigration and other kinds of things, why are we worried about something that's going on 1,000 miles away? How about you clean your house first, and then you start trying to help other folks, right?
Yeah.
That's wild. Let's see if the spice gets weirder, or if there's some slap and tickle. Maybe we find a sample of somebody's hands going on.
I don't think so. On either side here, I don't think so.
Maybe they're just going to holler? Just going to strut around and beat their chests?
I'll put money on it.
All right.
Do I know the people who actually fought for this fucking country? Where the fuck were you when there was actually fucking something you fought for this country? For people dying up in the north? No, 3 years of my fucking ass.
Idiots.
Fucking fascists. Fucking
Well, so he doesn't know that person at all. He has one opinion counter to his, and now he says he's a fascist. Right?
Yeah.
Is this that James Lindsay thing where you call something long enough and everybody just believes that that's what that is? If you say X, that you are fascist?
Yeah, you say it long enough, loud enough, people are going to believe it, like any argument. But
Crazy.
this young man is on about free Palestine. Which is probably.
Oh, we have got to go. Oh, we got to go to Galway, dude. We got to go to the Cleggan House, bud. Look at that. We got to go there.
Yeah, it's actually Galway is actually a lovely town. Actually, it's a really nice town.
We got to have a
nice place to go for a few pints.
You know, yeah, we should get Doc Guinness. We should over to the Cleggan House, man. So next summer, bud. Next summer, I'm coming out, bud. We're gonna do it.
Definitely.
All right.
Let's see what happens with these two gentlemen.
Oh, gentlemen, is it? Okay, fellas, maybe. I don't know if they're gentlemen.
Fuck. What do you know about? You don't know about Christianity, you fucking fascist. You know what? I fucking I'm sure any man goes out and makes your fucking self. Wherever the fuck you come from.
Dude, it's a semantic content of zero. It is semantically zero. It's just I'm real loud and unhappy. Why don't we sit down over a pint and talk about it? Why don't we figure it out? Like, here's what I believe. Here's what you believe. Let's work, right? I
think these two opposing forces, don't think they'll ever sit down in the same place.
Right, but
or if you do, you have to be very, very heavily policed because they're completely opposite from each other.
But they're just showing their ass. They're just out there showing their ass and screaming.
Yeah, but the other guys obviously have walked away at this stage and come back to their corner. This young man is just completely.
He's in a tizzy, bro. He's in a tizzy.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a smoking man back there. See the smoking man? Just chilling with that smoke. The smoking man.
There's my boy just in there smoking a fag kind of going. Right. He looks like the type of older gentleman just walking through the square kind of going, what is going on?
Right.
I fucking speak that. Alright? My father and my fucking family were coming. What the fuck was you?
But this is just some weird false equivocation about, right? Like what happened to my dad and da-da-da, right? This is strange. Like it's not reflective at all of anything productive. Like he's just lost. And the other guy egging him on was not cool. Like that was not cool.
No.
Look old boy over here with the sunglasses, like smoking a cigarette and like smiling. Like this kid's lost it. Like, strange, you know? And you know what's funny? It wasn't even raining that day. And they wasted a perfectly good day out there. All right.
Right, there we go.
There you go. We'll credit that with Absolute TV.
Wow, very, very angry young man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he wants to come on and holler about it, he can holler about it. I don't mind. We'll talk to you.
There we go.
Well, what do you got to say? Fella, you were invited to the A&P, gents. We will have a pint with you in Cork County. We'll hang out with you. We'll have the chat. We'll do the thing. All you got to do is come on down. All right, let's get back to the Unbroken Man. All right, back to the Unbroken Man after seeing the Galway spiciness. Here we go.
Yes.
A bit of wind here. I'm just going to try and hold the mic like this. So earlier in the video, I told you that I didn't bother uploading the previous version of this video because it made me kind of sad. But that's not the only reason. To be honest with you, when I was reviewing some of the footage of the counter protest, which was a lot of the leftists, you know, a lot of people on the opposing side, quite a mix there, quite a mix of people, colourful bunch. I noticed that, you know, I found myself kind of criticising them and that. And I said, okay, I began to recognise one or two people. As much as I'd like to sort of hate on those in opposition to my views, knowing the people that I recognised, the opposing side, I can honestly say that they're sound individuals, they're nice people. One of them was even a teacher of mine years ago.
But that doesn't mean they aren't ideologically captured by something that is not the healthiest for Ireland, right?
Yeah, I understand where he's come from because Ireland is such a small country.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tendency to know who's on the other side of the fence.
Right, they're not anonymous. And you'll see them, you'll know them. You'll be like,
you'll see them. We probably drink together in a local pub, that kind of way. And it can lead to very awkward interactions after all the protests are gone home, as they say, and go down to your local or wherever it'll be.
Right. There isn't a corner that doesn't include someone that is in opposition to your point of view, right?
Yeah. It's as he said, vast majority of them, and they're not bad people at either side of the aisle, as they say. They're not outright trying to murder each other. They're very decent people for many sides of the aisle. But it is awkward, as he said, when you recognize the people at the other side.
Yeah, it can be
very
rough.
awkward.
Well, and the Irish are a bit emotional. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, we can be a bit fiery sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. All right.
I was also hired by others. So if I'm going to be uploading videos to YouTube, kind of criticising people that I know, it's going to come back and bite me in the arse. But I will feel free, though, to criticise the left on Saturday, because I feel they were very, very out of order. If you ask me, they sort of scraped the bottom of the barrel this time with the aggression. Quite aggressive. So you probably saw the footage in which the guys are walking through the top of our square there, and there's a banner that reads Galway Irish Minority 2040. Galway minority city, is it? Basically 2040, the Irish people in Galway will be a minority. Now I can honestly tell you that this is a very, very conservative estimation.
Oh yeah, that's super. I mean, by 2035, like literally in the next 10 years, if they don't stop.
Yeah, they're saying, I've seen the figures myself. Yeah, 2035, 2040, they all bounce around, but it all ends the kind of same way.
Right, and the UK is like 2050, 2060. They're going to be white English minority in that time frame. So that's really going to lead to some issues, right? You're going to lose your culture, and then there's going to be some kind of rebellion at that point. Something is going to happen, right?
Yeah, especially you can see that happening in England already. There's an awful lot of flashpoints all across, not just England or Ireland, but all across Europe at the moment. There's a lot of flashpoints.
And I know that Ireland not fans of England at all, of the UK, and there's a lot of history behind why that is. Right?
Yes, yeah, we have our own history with England.
Right, but if the UK falls, Ireland's the next domino because they're right next door. They will just get flooded and done, right? If they're not already. So as angry as the Irish are with the English, with the UK, they might want to work together to try and figure out how that works out too. And you got the Northern Ireland issue, where if Northern Ireland becomes part of the Republic, then there's a whole lot of other things involved in that, right? If the UK falls, Northern Ireland's going to more than likely fall in with the Republic, right? They're going to be like, well, that's a fallen state.
Yeah, well, Northern Ireland will eventually join up with the Republic. That will eventually happen. That's without a shadow of doubt how that's going to look in the future, but that will happen.
But I think it's going to be a situation where the UK itself falls, right? They're going to just fall into complete disarray. Northern Ireland's going to be like, hey, Ireland.
Yeah, we also seem to forget that Scotland and Wales. Scotland's been trying to get independent from England for a long, long time. So if they pull out, that's 48% of their GDP gone out the market straight away. That will absolutely destroy.
Well, it seems like the farms in Wales, the resources in Scotland, and then the big city of London are like the three pinnacles of their GDP.
That's why it's called United. Yeah, that's why it's called Great Britain.
Right. So, all right, let's get back to our fella, the Unbroken man.
So a young one, right, comes up and she throws a cup of what I can only describe as liquid. I don't know how anyone thought that was coffee. It looked like brown paint from a coffee cup. It was nasty looking stuff. I don't know what that girl is drinking. Maybe Bovril or something. You see, she and...
Well, what's Bovril?
Oh, trust me, it's the most horrible substance known to man.
Well, okay. What is it supposed to be, and what does it end up being?
It's basically it's a beef stock mixture drink.
Oh God! Okay, all right.
It's absolutely vile.
So as a liquid, we don't want to be drinking that, right? It's like Worcestershire sauce.
Well, some people, for whatever weird reason, just absolutely love it.
Dude, people love spam.
Grandmother used to force down your throat.
People love spam. Like, look at Hawaii. Love it. I think it's the best thing ever. Yeah, spam.
Why?
I don't know.
What's wrong with them?
I don't know.
No one likes spam.
Dude, they got beef broth. They got beef broth. They got beef. That's what it is. They got beef broth. All right.
Oh my God.
The other young lefties, you see, most of them are very young. You have to remember that. They're very, very young. You know, we were all that age. When I was their age, You know, I was painting murals in nightclubs of Che Guevara and going to Cuba on a Che Guevara tour and, you know, listening to my hip hop. I back then I was bored. I didn't like Ireland. I didn't really have any interest in my own country back then. It's kind of like the terrible twos, you know, when you've a kid, you know, and they hit the 2-year-old age
He's
2
actually
and
right
they
there.
start.
Yeah. I've raised a couple of little tykes, and that 2 to 3 time frame, whoo, like once you get them potty trained and they're out of those cruisers and they're just running around the house, oh my God.
Yeah, but he is right. He is right about a lot of young people, especially when you're, say, under 25.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're coming into your own, trying to find your cause, as they say. You know, we all joined those weird societies in college and whatever else.
Oh, I didn't join any weird societies. I went to the Wayward School for Boys at Fort Benning, Georgia. The infantry school is where I went. I was like,
yeah, I was walking myself up to middle age, as they say, before I went to college. And I remember my first time in college as a mature student. I was at one of those society events, and and the young lads I was talking to needed to go for a break. And I said, "Look, I'll take over your stall if you want." When he comes up, I hand out a leaflet, and that's it. And there was a stall sitting next to me, the Communist Party.
Oh,
young, nice young lads.
Okay,
a couple of girls, a couple of lads. They were just hanging out. They had the little T-shirt and the little flags up and the whole lot. Really nice leaflets, by the way. I have to say that much about them. But
good. They make good products. That's good.
Yeah, I was chatting away to them next to me, old enough to be their dad. Really, at that stage. I said, "Do you actually believe all this? What they're going on about this and going that?" I said, "You know, it didn't really work anywhere."
Yeah. It's not quite working.
You know, communism didn't really kind of work out.
Yeah.
Well, look at China. I said, "Yeah." I said, "China is a different story." I said, "They're part communist, part you know, they're a little bit of everything thrown in there at the moment."
Right.
I was trying to say to the young people, but no, they're all for it. I said, "By the way," I said, "what do you work at yourselves outside of college?" Most of them came from really middle class families, doctors, nurses.
Right.
You know, they didn't really have a clue about the real world, I found.
Or how wealth is distributed or earned, or
how
labor functions, or any of that stuff. And there's over 100 million reasons to dislike that function of government. Yes. It's a failed state.
As he said, you know, Che Guevara and the Cuba Revolution and so on. Yeah, that was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah, and that dude would kill most of these people that are supporting him now. We love Che Guevara. That dude would have killed you. Like, if you'd have met that dude and said, "I'm a this or that," he'd have been like, "Oh, that's cool." And he would have blown your brains out. And then walked along and just had a day. Like, I had to kill this idiot.
Yes.
So, all right, here we go.
Getting really kind of shouty, and they don't understand. Everything has to be immediate. They live in the moment.
Immediate gratification causes epic failure.
You take something from them, they don't realize they don't realize going to get it back later on. It's just the terrible too. So these people, the young crowd in this video, the girl that threw the coffee, the thick brown painty looking coffee at the banner, and the guy, fucking moron. What is with this Irish thing? I'll get to that in a minute. Not having a conversation with you just because you don't speak Irish, right? This is the latest one. But anyway, there was another moron there.
Well, have you encountered that? If you don't speak Irish Gaelic, they won't talk to you?
No, the only time I ever come across that is with the clip we just seen with that young man. And when he started talking Irish back, some of the older gentlemen on the other side could speak Irish. One of the particular guys couldn't.
Right.
And you could show his reaction. It's normally something that's thrown in your face if you can't speak Irish. You shouldn't really speak about Irish topics.
Right.
That normally comes up in a certain point of view in the left, especially in Ireland. The left normally showing the right's face quite a bit.
But they don't speak
There's many
Irish.
reasons why an awful lot of us older gentlemen, we can speak a bit of Irish. Will we be fluent? Not 100%, but we can speak a small bit.
Well, didn't you get it in secondary school? Didn't you have to pass some kind of exam?
And that's where I'm going to get to. What happened to an awful lot of us older gentlemen is Irish was kind of beaten into us in a not so nice way by the Christian brothers and so on.
Right.
So we kind of had a negative reaction towards it.
Right.
Doesn't mean we don't like our language. But that's why. But these young people learn it for their leaving cert and so on voluntarily, so that obviously they love the language.
Right, right. That's a beautiful language.
It is.
Some of my with the Dublin Dublin Choir, the choral scholars, amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go.
The corner, there was a few of them in it. There was a young lad then, he looked only about early 20s again, and he got a little bit, he got into a scuffle and he got tuned up, and then he was pushed into the back of a Garda van. So these people, these...
I haven't heard that in a while. He got tuned up.
Yeah.
That is such a great expression. Someone decided to talk some smack. We had to go tune him up a little bit, right? It's like your car's broken, right?
Yeah. I think what happens with an awful lot of these young people, they don't realize that. Like, there's some of the clips that obviously we're not going to show. That was probably the most modest clip that we've shown.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There was other clips where it showed what he just said there, but obviously we're not going to show that. Obviously, that's the reason why he's not showing them either.
Well, I think that's why kids are a little bit busted today, is because they didn't get tuned up as a kid. Right?
No, but the problem with an awful lot of these young people, what they don't realize is a lot of these older gentlemen have been around the block more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get in their faces and you start roaring your whatever and you start getting aggressive towards them, don't be surprised if they, as he says, tune you up a small bit.
Oh, you'll get tuned up.
Them more.
Surely you will get tuned up, right? If you can't show appropriate respect. I'm sure if that gentleman had come up and said, hey, I don't really agree with your position, here's what I believe and why, they might have entertained it. But if you come showing your ass, like, you're going to get tuned up, right?
Yeah.
But that one dude egging him on was probably not the right answer. Do something to me about it. Really?
Yeah.
You're grown. That's a kid. Like, leave that kid alone. Like, just let
as
that kid run his mouth.
Both sides were getting very fired up at this stage. Obviously, there was before this, there was a couple of them got stuff thrown at them and so on. So the blood was already up on both sides.
Right. It got spicy for sure. All right.
It got very, very spicy.
Agitators in this video. I saw the advertiser, the Galway advertiser, posted an article there saying, far-right agitators. We need to correct the Galway advertiser. We need to correct them because it was the agitators were the far left. So these guys are in the terrible twos. They're in that age.
Yeah, the response is considered this really weird, we're far right thing, right? When someone comes into your space and says, hey, I'm going to be spicy with you, you get spicy back, you're wrong? Well, maybe you shouldn't have ought to, but it was spurred on by something. By something.
Both sides got very, very heated there.
Right. It wasn't a vacuum. It didn't happen in a vacuum. There wasn't just some weird right. Yeah.
And that's one thing that even the Galway advertiser said, tension rises in Galway protest. There would have been a good headline.
Yeah, well,
both sides were.
You know what? If they used ChatGPT or Grok, like, maybe they could have got a better title, right? A more fair one.
True, yeah.
One that exhibited what actually happened. We should write them a strongly worded letter. We should do that. From the A&P gents. Dear Galway knuckleheads at your newspaper, you suck. Try this.
As they say, headline, but certain headlines that will always sell, as they say.
Right. Not the truth, because the truth is just trash, right? Psh.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Where they just don't understand. They don't understand how the world works. I can honestly say that, the left-hand side, the far left in this video, it wasn't just all about young people. There was a lot of people standing around. There was a couple of guys that gave Philip Dwyer a bit of stick. They didn't seem to come in with a good argument. And my advice to the likes of Philip Dwyer and Niall McConnell, right? When you're going in with these guys, it's hard not to, because one is kind of riled up in this situation. But I'd go in a bit cooler headed and just have a chat, because the more information you can get out of these kind of people, the more you have on them to prove them wrong.
So one of the best things you can do in any kind of situation like this is get their argument and steelman it. Make their argument the best argument that it can be against what you believe to be a more appropriate or optimized argument in opposition to what they're saying, right? So work it out with them what their position is, right? And then once you've said, okay, so I understand your position is this, they say, yes, you understand my position. Then you say, look, based on this, I find this to be some kind of fallacy. It's syllogistically incorrect. There's a problem. Something is wrong here, right? But it lacks appropriate moral or ethical efficacy, or whatever the issue might be, right? You just sit down, order a couple of pints, chill out, and holler about it. Like, hey, here's what I got. What do you got? Right? Let's talk about this.
Yes, but unfortunately, when it comes to people who are so dug in on their beliefs, neither side, by the way, that's never going to happen.
But it kills
very rarely it'll happen.
Right, but it kills the marketplace of ideas, and it's like effing up your culture. It's really not doing great things. Right?
No, but you can see that across all the Western countries at the moment. Both sides have already drawn the battle lines, as they say, and they're unwilling to talk to each other, even in meet in the middle in any shape, form, or fashion.
So zero compromise, all just showing my ass.
Yeah, you can see it. You can even see it with the MAGA movement in the States, or other movements, other movements in Germany, and so on. Once the battle lines are drawn, it's very, very rare that they'll actually sit down.
Oh, we talked about that. Discussion. We talked about that before. So culturally, so in the Bundestag, there are different groups. It's like there's a bunch of different parties. In the ADP, ADF, or
ADF,
yeah. So they got the second most seats. Yeah, they got the second most seats, but then were excluded from government process. Just excluded. It's like it was very strange. Like no ministers, no seats, and it's a very loose coalition that's holding over them because they have so many seats. But I don't know that they can get more seats in the Bundestag because almost all of those reps that were ADF were from what was formerly East Germany, right? And maybe one or two spots in West Germany. But that's going to have to move a little bit. They're going to have to get more seats to affect change, right? So,
but same thing happened here in Ireland when Sinn Féin had massive support this time around for the last election. Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, Independents, and a few others got together to block them from forming a coalition. It happens.
Crazy.
Something happened here.
Here we go.
So after the drama with the banner getting defaced, you see, and with the girl and the banner thing, right? This is the thing that makes me laugh. We live in an Ireland now where it's kind of seen as women are, second-class citizens, that women have it bad. Women are oppressed, all this kind of stuff. We hear this on a regular basis. But you just look at the way a girl can run up to, a banner like that and literally throw a hot drink and just walk away and then start calling everyone dickhead. Now, imagine if a guy did that. There would have been a few lads that would take him aside, and there would have been a serious scuffle.
Tune up.
So it's amazing what women can get away with aggression and violence. So shortly after that, there was a guy, slightly chubby-looking man, middle-aged man, and he started having a go at Philip Dwyer. And there was no conversation at all. It was just, I will to ask Gael or whatever, Now, I don't speak Irish at all. Both of my parents, God rest them, were fluent Irish speakers. One of them, Dad, from Gaeltacht area, Donegal. But
your favourite spot, Donegal.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up
lovely place.
in an era where we were almost like, there was just no encouragement to speak Irish at all. I was very technical as a young lad. I was no good at any languages, to be honest with you. Last thing I wanted to do was learn Irish, you see. They sort of try and use that one then to sort of disqualify you from having an opinion.
Because you don't speak Irish, you can't have appropriate discourse on the tricolor country, right? Like,
well, exactly. If you're not completely 100% fluent in their form of Irish, even. Because you have to remember, Irish is like most languages. We have different regional differences. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's often thrown in your face many, many times. See that argument.
Strange.
On Ireland, which is very, very wrong. If you did it the other way around to them, man, they would not tolerate it for 1 second. So Philip Dwyer he's received that one a few times. If I was him, I'd go and learn a bit of Irish just for the crack and say nothing to anyone.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. One day just crank it out. That'd be amazing.
And
But it's very unfair. It's very, very unfair to do that to people. Because they have no opinion if they don't speak 100% fluent Irish. Some people could be 1,000 different reasons why they don't speak Irish, but I've seen that nastiness shown in people's faces. But it is funny, as he said, it's when far left throw that at the far right, and the far right guy does speak back to Irish, then they throw something else. It's always different.
Right. Just trying to find little angles to dig in. Yeah, as opposed to saying, hey, in the marketplace of ideas, I believe this thing. What do you believe? And then I steel man your argument, and then we work with it. We figure it out together.
But that's never going to really happen, if I was being honest with you. It's a beautiful idea, but in reality, that'll never happen. Unless it's some sort of show or some sort of structured debate.
People are just trying to be right and righteous, and they go into these public forums, and protesting is fine, but losing your shit, getting violent and all that stuff, and if you have something to say, then again, get a pint, sit down, let's holler, let's do it. Like, I don't mind. I will accept I expect any kind of debate. Hey, what do you got, bud? Let's holler, let's do this.
Build it up to a decent standard. And I'll say one thing about these crowd as well. Knowing from what my father, God rest him, used to say, a lot of these modern Irish speakers, they're seen as kind of fakes, It's kind of disingenuine in a way. So they can learn it all they want, but are they doing it for the right reasons? Are they learning Irish for the right reasons? Are they genuinely into it? You would wonder at times. So there was a few other morons that got very aggressive. There's a guy in the corner, a fellow wearing a tracksuit. Didn't look like he was much use to anyone.
The Galway tracksuit, you know what that means.
Other than being really shouty and aggressive. Ashamed of some guy that he knew that was in the parade, right? Not parade, the march. I'm ashamed of you, Seamus. I'm ashamed of you. How come he didn't say that in Irish? He wouldn't talk to Philip Dwyer and others in English. So why was he talking to his friend? Why don't these people just speak Irish all day long? Because they don't. The only time these people tend to speak Irish is when they meet people like Philip Dwyer and Niall McConnell or other so-called far-right agitators. That's kind of dangerous there. Look at that. It does look like it might slip, doesn't it? That I wouldn't like to be walking here when it does slip. Maybe it won't. But anyway, one thing I noticed about these people on the left in Galway, right, and in other places, they've got something very, very wrong, right? And this is what they have wrong. They're confusing the people out marching, we'll say on Saturday. They're confusing these people with a movement or with a group or an association that are trying to bring something in or introduce something and change up something. You know what I mean? They seem to think that we're a big threat. But in my honest opinion, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, right, speaking from my own angle here, right, this has absolutely nothing to do with a movement. I'd even go as far as saying that it has absolutely nothing to do with nationalism. It has nothing to do with patriotism.
Right, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's I want to support something because you don't like it, right? You're old and curmudgeonly, and I know better than you with all of my experience on the planet, right?
Yeah.
So remember, we were watching. Right, we were watching.
He's right.
Go ahead.
But he is right in an awful lot of ways. Vote the movement in Ireland is not just the normal far right guys; it's the normal people on the street or even out in these protests.
Right. So we were watching.
A lot of people's lives have been affected.
Oh, a lot. Right. We were watching Connor Tomlinson when he was in that. He was in a debate with a couple of reporters. One was a CNN, a male and a female, and a bunch of people in the audience were asking questions. And one of the reporters in the audience asked Connor, or implied that Connor's years, he's 26 or 27, he didn't have enough time on the planet to have the kinds of opinions that he had.
I remember that interaction with, it was an older gentleman actually said that to the young man.
No, the old gentleman said, is there any place you'd rather live than here? The female was like, you haven't been on the planet. Like, how do you, get to all these conclusions? You just don't have enough experience. Well, if you understand, like, the framers of the Constitution of the United States were almost all of them under 30 years of age, right? So they had it together back then. right? Like maybe we need to look at, I don't know, what the hell they were doing back then. And I think a lot of it has to do with the schooling and all that kind of stuff, right? Because in the late 1800s, when the Prussian style of schooling came to the Western world, it was created to make it so people could work in the factories. But then eventually it gets to a point where it can be captured. And it was, and our children are taught what to think, not how to think, right? If you don't have the tools to syllogistically and logistically get through processes and problems, then you'll be able to get captured. Right? There'll be a ton of cognitive dissonance and all kinds of wild shit, which is what it seems like the far left people are doing from the Unbroken man's perspective, right?
Yeah, I think the problem with the educational system is very rigid. And when they get to college, they're given all this freedom. And then, as you say, it's very easy for them to get caught up in different movements.
Right. And I don't know.
I've seen other educational models. I'm thinking of Sweden now, Norway, there, and Finland. Their educational model is more free flowing, all the way from small kids all the way up to secondary school.
Right.
Where the kids get to pick what they study and so on.
Right.
It's more free flow, more debate, more ideas.
Right. And the boy children aren't necessarily like punished for being boys. In the United States, oh my God, you get punished for being a boy in school. You get medicated if you move around too much. But that's a young boy with a lot of energy, and you're telling him sit down, shut up for longer than 6 hours a day.
That seems to be.
Yeah.
I see that in the States quite a lot. They seem to medicate everything.
Yeah, it's
as they say, they have a pill for that, and it does not give good results. Actually, even if you look at the college stats and so on, it damages young people quite a lot if they're heavily medicated like that.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with the Irish language. What it is people, good, decent Irish people, mostly. Okay, there are a few more extreme people. You'll always have that. It's the same with them, the left. There's a few that aren't so extreme that you can actually have a conversation with, and I do. So yeah, we're not a movement. We are Irish people that have seen the transformation of our country, that have seen our government being overly EU-centric to the point that they're actually rebranding our country into a completely different country.
What's that forced multiculturalism that the people of Ireland have voted against? They don't want that. People of the UK have voted against that, and they're still getting it. The United States, we voted against it. We eventually got someone who was very, hey, like, we need to recover our country, right? But something's going to have to happen either in the UK or Ireland or somewhere over there where they stand up to that and say, we're not going to allow it. Poland doesn't allow it. Other countries should just not allow it. Like, don't destroy our culture. Don't.
Poland's not the only country, by the way, just to clarify that.
Well, but they're the spearhead of that.
Austria, and they all have closed their borders.
Hungary, Austria finally figured it out? Oh, we actually talked about that the other day, right?
Yeah. So, I was going to say there's other countries that are other EU countries, yes. As I say, we're a very dysfunctional family, but we do agree in certain areas in the EU.
Right. Here we go.
And I think every EU country at the moment is trying to pass it on to the other EU country.
Right.
They pass the parcel. And everyone now eventually is closing their borders. You can see them happening all across Europe.
Well, Poland was having that issue with Belarus. But what a lot of them are doing is flying in from other countries as opposed to coming across the border directly. And now the Polish army and their border...
Germany's also fortified their borders. Hungary, Austria, other countries have done what Poland's doing.
Right.
Poland wasn't, as they say, first to invent the wheel, but they're the most vocal about it, where other countries just get on and do it.
Right. All right, here we go.
The sake of, being the new church ladies to the EU, they want to, shine by example, light the way. There's a sinister side to them. And the same government are criminalising us. They're criminalising reasonable people for having reasonable views. Those of us objecting to, IPAS centres and mass immigration, uncontrolled immigration. We can see it firsthand.
So for those outside of Ireland, IPAS centres are international protection centres, where an awful lot of people, mainly males, by the way, at the moment, but mainly males, are, when you first arrive into Ireland, you declare that you want asylum for whatever reason, in whatever country. You put into IPAS centres. And in IPAS centres, you're supposed to be interviewed within the first couple of weeks or months. But what was happening is the Department of Justice just didn't have the resource to deal with 100,000+ people arriving in the space of 12 months for international protection. International protection is across all countries have it. Most modern countries have it. We just got absolutely overwhelmed in Ireland, and now these iPass centres are being forced down everyone's throat all over the country. Very badly, by the way, very badly handled as well by the Irish government. I mean, their handling of this is on an absolute race. They have no idea what they're doing. They're sticking people into these. How can I describe some of these iPass centres you wouldn't put a dog into? Our government then are just saying there's not a problem. And then communities are getting overwhelmed. There's a whole mess. And I'll stress back to our government not having a clue what the hell they're doing, as usual.
The other issue you're having is that there's a first country problem. So if they get to the UK, normally they've gotten on a boat and come across the channel, which means that France is the one that's supposed to be dealing with
boat, let's clarify the whole boat myth that UK is sprouting at the moment.
Okay.
Most of them are coming on over by ferries straight into their docks, not by them hopping on a dinghy and swimming across the channel.
Right.
They're either flying into the UK, which most of them do from Belgium. They're getting on a transport ship originally from the mainland in Europe.
Or fair. Yeah, no, I understand that. What I'm saying is if it's Belgium or Germany on an airplane, or if it's France across the water, like if they get to Ireland, they should be sent back to those places where they came from. But isn't the problem they're destroying their paperwork? Like, my name is John Smith.
Not the sad thing is, an awful lot of them are, yes, one, they're destroying their paperwork. Secondly, they openly lie.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's a massive issue, not just for Ireland, as well as the UK, that we're getting our systems are completely overwhelmed.
Right.
Our governments
your medical
just genuinely don't have a clue how to handle it.
Right.
Yeah, our governments just are overwhelmed. They don't have the resources to deal with it properly, and they're too prideful to admit that. On both sides of the aisle.
Someone needs to eat the L and fix it. Take accountability, and we're going to work on it, but let's do this in good faith, not like a banty rooster.
Let's put it this way. We're a small country, and we're pumping in our last budget, we're putting in 1.5 billion to bolster up our immigration system, which has worked out. Like we've over 35,000 people so far this year have been deported out of Ireland, compared to 3,000 from the whole of last year.
Yeah.
So if you want to solve a problem, put money into it. We're putting more money into it than the UK is.
Well, your Taoiseach and your Taoiseach really need to push that for sure, dude.
Yes, but we only have so much resource and so much money as well.
Well, maybe the Dáil or somebody could figure it out. The Dáil or something. The Shannon. They all got to do something, man. So, all right, here we
definitely.
Don't even need to look at statistics. You know, we're seeing the transformation. Look at the newsfeed, guys. Come on. What dominate? Look at the crimes that dominate the newsfeed. Remember that we're still supposed to be somewhat 80% Irish. Are you kidding me? 80% Irish. Will you stop? So a stupid kid gets tuned up by some of the guys marching, gets thrown into the back of the van, has a bit of a bleeding nose, torn t-shirts. At least they ripped that stupid yellow jacket off him. He was in the crowd earlier, being very aggressive. There was some very aggressive left-wingers in the crowd. I noticed some of them really were frothing at the mouth, seething.
I don't think they're aware of consequences. They think their righteousness is a shield against harm, you know?
Yeah, but the problem is with a mob mentality kicked in there quite a lot. They got winding each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone's ever been at any of these type of protests, no matter what it is, you can feel when a tide is turning. You know, you can feel it in your bones that, wait a minute, this is going down.
It's like being in a mosh pit, right?
Yeah, and as I said to young people, if you have that feeling at any protest you're at,
get out.
Get out of here. Just leave. Yep. Not worth it. Not worth it. No matter what cause it is, it's not worth getting seriously hurt, because you can get seriously hurt when a crowd loses it.
The old kick in the stampede, right?
Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, you can fall down, and before you know it, you're waking up in the hospital.
Right.
Is it really worth it?
Don't run with the bulls, bro. Don't run with the bulls.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
If you feel in your bones that no matter where you are in this protest, by the way, left or right or wherever it is, if you feel it's getting that kind of way, just walk away. It's not worth it.
Right,
Not worth it doing what this young man tried to do.
Silly. All right, here we go.
In anger at the mere sight of middle-aged men, women, younger men, and children. That's right, children. There was so many children around the place holding flags, marching. I mean, the optics of the march, to me, looked like a very reasonable, decent bunch. There weren't that many headers hanging around. Maybe there's a few, but they look.
Uh-oh. What's a header?
You call him, what can I put it nicely? Header, violent guy. Is that an American term? You know the guys at the protest are just looking for a bit of a scrape up, as they say.
Oh, they're looking for a tussle. They're looking for a bit of a kerfuffle.
Oh yeah, You know the head the balls, as they call them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so by the way, that's an English football term, head the balls. Yeah, there we go. We do borrow a few things from England every now and again.
Oh yeah, well, sometimes they got good tea and sometimes they got good expressions.
I just prefer coffee.
Me, like, you'd be struggling now to find a Hitler amongst them, but that didn't stop the leftists calling them Nazis off our streets. Was it Nazis or fascists? You see, they love the word fascist. They've gotten a little bit bored with the word Nazi now, so they've moved on to fascist.
When you equate someone to being a Nazi, you have othered them in such a way that anything you do to them is acceptable in your eyes, right? But
yeah,
it is a false equivocation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a false equivalency, right?
Like, I've got to meet a couple of guys from both sides of the aisle over the last couple of years, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, both sides are decent enough guys. They have completely different points of view, but
right.
Deep down, they're not completely throwing at them out Nazis or throwing at them out communists. They're passionate about their causes, but there's not really a bad bone in either of their side.
Right. But I think the guys that you're going to see are going to be at the pub. They're going to be older guys anyway. Those younger guys aren't going to go into those pubs, right? They're just not.
Maybe they'd be better off than this.
Yeah, well, they don't want to get tuned up. If some young fella came up to you and said some wild shit, you'd be like, "Hey, bro, no, don't work like that."
That wouldn't end well.
No, right?
I'm just saying it would not end well.
Same thing with me. If somebody comes up to me and says some wild shit, I'm gonna tune you up, just because you don't get to do that to other mature folks. You just don't. That's not acceptable behavior.
I think the problem with these young lads is they get so wrapped up they don't realize, as you said, the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, they're not bulletproof. They are not bulletproof by any means.
Yeah, they think these guys are going to suddenly back down because they wrote nasty words.
Oh,
those guys will not
you
back
said
down.
a loud thing.
Yeah,
the hurdy words.
As we saw in that clip, that young man came very, very, very close.
Oh yeah. They were about to pull out the tools and give him a good tune-up, but it's about to happen.
You could see that a mile away.
Yeah, but that kid was busy walking back and forth and just being agitated. He was unaware that he was in danger. He was completely unaware that he was in danger. You and I would look around, check our six. What's going on? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, am I alone out here? Where's my buddy?
16 guys around me. You know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
That young man was very, very lucky that those guys walked away because.
Oh, he was going to get a boot party for sure. There was going to be a boot party.
A mile away. And
yeah.
I think if it carried on any longer, it could have ended very badly. From both sides, by the way. The young man especially, but the other guys would have got arrested. It would have been a whole mess.
Yeah.
For everyone involved.
Yeah, the culture is really going through some tumult right now, and it's just not a comfortable feeling. All right, here we go.
So I just need to let this lady pass. Hello. No worries at all. Yeah, they're shouting the word Nazi towards a generic group of Irish people who are just walking through one of Galway's cities. So a few people have said that, Galway is very liberal. Galway I was going to say like Galway is the San Francisco of Ireland, but it's more like the Portland. Do you remember Portland, all the shit happened in Portland? So there was a few very animated characters.
That is a crazy comparison. The Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest, right? Well, they got the same kind of weather, I guess. So maybe.
Yeah, I know Galway. Galway, I found is a very interesting city. Every time I got out there, there's a lot of arts around there. It's very
Right. I have some friends of mine that went to the university out there. So
yeah. I like Galway. Galway's a good place. Always good crack there, by the way. Always good crack.
all the good crack.
It is, yeah, but it's going through its own
That's funny.
crisis of identity at the moment.
So
Like
crack.
most Irish towns and cities.
Crack in the United States is generally referred to as like crack cocaine, but crack over there is like it's different.
Good time.
It's a good
Yeah,
time.
good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting the crack on is
by the way,
time for fun, not time to smoke crack.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I remember the first time saying that to a couple of American guys. They were looking at me like I had 15 heads. I'm kind of going, oh, you're just fresh off the boat, aren't you, lads?
You lads, look at you lads, just fresh off the boat. I love it.
Bless you. Wait till you wake up tomorrow with the hangover.
Oh yeah, because you're drinking real beer now, like the alcohol content.
Not the stuff that you call beer over there.
Right. Get the natty ice and roll. All right, here we go.
The crowd, in the lefty crowd, and I noticed that there was a Muslim woman there, and she almost looked kind of theatrical in the way she was dressed. Bottle green hijab, full piece sort of clothy outfit. She looked stylish, she looked elegant, but she also looked kind of placed. There was something kind of fake looking about her. So there's a few more in the crowd that looked a little bit sort of, strange. I did recognize a few faces, and as I said, I know some decent people, and if they end up watching this video, I'm just going to say to them, right, don't be so fucking naive.
You know what? We're going to end it on that. That is a good message.
That's actually a brilliant point, Enzo.
Yeah. Don't.
No matter where you are, by the way,
naive.
I'm going to say this to fellow Irish people. No matter where you are, right or left or in the middle or wherever it be, try to keep your emotions in check. It does not look good for your cause, no matter who you're supporting, reacting the way you were reacting in Galway or other places.
Right. You don't have to show your
try
ass.
to be respectful.
Yeah. You don't have to be spicy about it. Yeah. Sit down. I know have good discourse. Jesus.
Yeah, I know at the moment our emotions are high and heightened by other outside effects. Just bear in mind, we're all part of the same country. And try to have a bit of respect for each other.
There you go. All right. For Patrick McCallum, I am Alex Johansson. Ring the bell, like the video, do all the things, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.